time now to review the news, and just shortly we shall be joined by Dr. Kwame Asante, Head Center for European Studies. You find him at the University of Ghana, and as well Dr. Bernard Tutu Bahine, as well lecturer of political marketing, University of Education at Winneba, and as well Dr. Benny Asha, lecturer at UPSA. Just before we get into the news review, of course, Noella is on standby to bring us everything that's been buzzing in front of the newspapers. And Kojo, good to see you after 2 days.
Yes. No, I mean, good to be back, you know. Okay. Because I missed you.
Okay. Noella did miss you as well. Noella, what's happening in front of the newspapers?
Well, let's begin with the Ghanaian Times, and welcome back, Kojo. Well, we begin with Ghana's water resources decline, and that's according to the Water Resource Commission. It says it has declined from 1,900 cubic meters per person in 2016 to 1,500. Find that story on page 12 of the Ghanaian Times. Also, President holds crunch meeting with civil society organizations over illegal mining, and that meeting is happening this Friday at 12 noon at the Jubilee House. Find the story on page 10 of the paper. Also, Water Aid Ghana launches 18.9 million Ghana cedis wash project in the Upper East region. Details of that story is on page 24 of the paper. German government to help Ghana strengthen regional security. That story is on page 12 of the paper. When you take a look at the back of the Ghanaian Times, there are some other interesting stories like Corporate Ghana shines at 2025 City Business Olympics. If you're a fan of sports, well, that's for you. And also Water Aid Ghana launches, well, that's the story from page 24. You can find that at the back of the Ghanaian Times. Moving on, let's take a look at what's happening on the front page of the publisher, the Ghanaian publisher. MPs dare Brian Champon. Name snitches or apologize. And basically, this is on the heels of Brian stating or claiming that some members of parliament who had earlier openly declared their support for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia had calling that open support as a facade and making their intentions of, declaring their support for him known. And so the response of those MPs is that, you know what, name us. If really there are snitches, then you should name them or be ready to apologize. Find details of that story on page 3 of the Ghanaian publisher. Also, Mahama drags CSOs into Galamsey. Well, I mentioned that earlier. It's a meeting happening this Friday at 12 noon at the Jubilee House. Also, CID acts to probe Kulindi and Jakpa over alleged plots to derail Atufosen's trial. Well, that's a Ghanaian citizen that petitioned the CID to launch an investigation into Richard Jakpa and Justice Kulindi. Find that story on page 2 of the Ghanaian publisher. Also, the Insight says, Nalai, World Bank report reveals COVID-19 Russia-Ukraine war not cause of Ghana's 2022 economic crisis. Details of that story is on page 2. Also, Ghana's progress of decentralization requires shift in mindset. That's according to our Honorable Vice President. Also, parties without reps in Parliament demand discontinuation of Edu Boahen's prosecution. That story is on page 5. Papasi Chief hails Chief Imam for promoting peace and national cohesion. Also, that story is on page 5. CIBI, that's the Chamber of Indigenous Businesses and Investors, slams Fourth Estate over alleged misleading of the NLA KGL report. Basically, they are rubbishing an investigative piece made by the Fourth Estate and the Media Foundation for West Africa, which saw some anomalies between a contract that the NLA, or a business the NLA had given to KGL Technologies Limited. It was a 3 billion Ghana cedis contract, and they were expected to pay 170 million Ghana cedis annually. Well, they are rubbishing that investigative piece. Also, the Accra Times says, resetting the judiciary as promised. Mahama hailed for nominating new CJ with no political ties. That story is on page 3 of the Accra Times. Also, slave trade is the greatest crime against Africa. Mahama cries out to the West, Africa must demand reparations. Those are excerpts of the President's UN speech. Find the rest of the story on page 2. Also, NPP in search of credibility chases Baumia loyalist to over reckless comment. I think that's in connection to the party summoning Abronya DC, that's the Bunu regional chairman, over a series of accusations of misconduct leveled against him. And I know that his response is that, okay, I'm ready to come appear before the committee, but it must be broadcasted live. And so that is his condition. Also, NPA to prosecute defaulters. Find the story on page 4 of the paper. Let's move ahead. Iyoko seizes Wuntumi's 15 luxury cars. Well, it includes a Bentley and a Rolls Royce. And he made this known on our sister station, Adum FM. And he maintains, actually, that he acquired all these cars legitimately. Also, fuel station owner cries foul over Total Energy standoff. Find that story on page 6 of the Daily Guide. Claims of 3 billion Ghana cedis NLA giveaway false. CIBI. Well, I mentioned that story earlier as well. I beg your pardon. Also, Boache Ejako declares NPP chairmanship bid. Well, that happened yesterday through a press release he released, making it known his intention to run for national chairman for the NPP, describing his decision to run as a duty to call. Also, Justice Kalendi Jakpa dragged to CID. I've mentioned that story as well. It's on page 3 of the Daily Guide. The News Center says AI coding to drive telecom growth. That's according to the CEO of MTN Ghana, Stephen Bliwet. And find the story on page 4 of the News Center. Also, ministers contradict each other on unpaid teachers' salaries. The rest of the story is on page 3. Total Energy's crippled dealer. That story is on page 2. Ambulance case, Kalendi Jakpa dragged to CID. Well, similar stories popping up on most of our newspapers' front page. But away from the newspapers, let's take a look at what's happening on digital media as well. We'll start with My Joy Online. A lot of stories that are trending on My Joy Online. DSTV pricer not about market size, says Communications Minister Sam Georgie. Had a very interesting conversation with Evan Spencer yesterday on PM Express. If you haven't watched it, you should check it out. Also, no, we are not regulating social media. Sam George clarifies as government prepares new misinformation, I beg your pardon, bill. Also, U.S. visa restrictions. Don't overstay your welcome. Ghana's U.S. mission cautions citizens. And also, Foreign Minister announces scholarships for training and tertiary education. Find the story on myjoyonline.com. No more scribbling. Indian court tells doctors to fix their handwriting. Very interesting story. And it has a picture or excerpts of a picture of some of the very, very terrible handwriting by some Indian, individuals. I have no respect for cowards who attack from the shadows. That's according to Zaneto Ajuman Rawlings. Find the story on myjoyonline.com. TikTok flies team to Ghana as government GCB Bank set up first ever payout channel for content creation. Let's check out what's happening also on City Newsroom. This Galamsey fight, Mohammed's measures need collective support. That's according to Professor Jampo. Find the story on City Newsroom. And it has quite a number as well. Bronye dismisses petition against him as frivolous. The rest of the story, you know where to find it. Mahama returns to Ghana after attending the 80th UNGA in New York. Find the story there. Chamber of Indigenous Business slams Fourth Estate over misleading report on NLA KGL deal as well. Of course, you know that MFRDT and my very good brother, Samuel Kujib is on standby to get into the details of all of these stories and more. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Noella. Thank you very much. You make it very easy to start off the review. And I already told you that we've got Dr. Betty Asha, lecturer, UPSA as well, Dr. Sasanti as well, joining us in studio. And of course, our Dr. Sasanti is via Zoom, and Dr. Bernard Tutu Boahene as well, lecturer, political marketing, University of Education, whenever joining us in studio. Doc, thank you for making time to join us in studio. I'll start with you because you're in studio before I go to our guest on Zoom. Tell me, it's midweek already. Do you have anything that has your attention in the news?
So.
Good morning to your colleague. What is the name?
Kojo Brace.
Kojo, yes.
It's easy to remember Hunter Pele.
Hunter
Pele.
Okay.
Why not?
So he was once a footballer, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. I love football.
Playing at the highest level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But a Hunter Pele is because they say I love a hunter too much.
Oh, right. Okay, that's fine. I mean, you don't have to forget about where you're coming from.
Exactly.
And you should always be proud about it.
Sure.
Yeah. So good morning to viewers as well. And good morning to Dr. Ansasari and the other gentleman joining us via Zoom. I think that over the week, interesting issues have emerged, both political issues and social issues. And I think that one of the key things that I have followed and I continue to follow, and it is a matter of national interest, has to do with issues regarding Galamsey, and which I think that, yes, the media is doing very good work on it. And we commend the media, for all the information they are putting out in the public domain. Again, I think that politically, what is trending has to do with the MPP issues regarding the two chairmen, the Bono region chairman, and then the Ashanti regional chairman. And I think that, yes, I don't know whether we will be discussing it today. But
we shall.
Yeah, okay, then I'll reserve my comments for that. And the president and what his speech, I think at the UN, that also is something that I think that the president deserves some commendations. And we expect that that level of boldness will not be a one-time thing. But I want to say that Africa needs such bold leadership, and especially also in Ghana, since we have branded Ghana as the Black Stars of Africa and the Shining Star of Africa. And so I want to believe that the president will continue to put up such boldness, confidence, with regard to African issues and national issues, without recourse to any political sentiments and all that. So these are the three things that actually caught my attention.
Okay, very well, Doc. Thank you. Kojo, who should we go to first, Dr. Asha or Dr. Sasanti? Maybe you want to moderate it, of course. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning. Midweek, Dr. Sasanti, what has your attention in the news?
This morning, can you hear me? Is it okay?
Yes, very okay. Thank you.
Right. This morning, I want to look at the president's speech at the UN. As we all know, it has attracted a lot of attention. People have praised the speech, that it is apt description of a speech from a leader who is visionary, who fears nobody, and a leader worth his salt. I have no problem with that. And I concede to some large extent that, yes, the speech had what it takes to be presented at that forum. That aside, I want us to be clear. The president touched on one thing, issue of reparation. And that is where I have a difficulty. As a student of history, I know transatlantic slave trade claimed a lot of people, took a lot of people from Africa to the Americas to build their economic state that they find themselves in today. There's no doubt about that. And that Africans' argument is that that exercise, we took a large army of young people to that part of the world, deprived them of the needed manpower to turn things around back home here. And given what they did there, that has supported America up to date, they also needed reparation. That argument for me is no. in the sense that if you look at the history of slave trade, it was not committed by one person. On the markets, or in every market, there is the demand, there is a supply. Who were those who supplied the slaves? We are people here, chiefs, opinion leaders, and all that. We sold our people into slavery. So that exercise, if there is a problem, it cannot be borne by only one person. It takes two to tango. So we sold our people bought them, and then went and then used them for whatever purpose they wanted them to use. So that argument for me has been discussed and discarded, and I was not looking forward to hearing my president recounting on that, because it can never be sustained anywhere. A trade which we all describe as what distasteful, and all the negatives associated with it. And we were also participants. How do we blame others? All right. I have attended a number of conferences on slave trade and all that, very emotional conference. But if you look at it, Africans talk from the point of view of emotions. But the real issue is that now who calls them? The two of us, we, our people, and the Western world. It is true that the method by which they got the slaves and all that were inhuman and all that, that I concede. But look, the market was there, and we were suppliers of the slaves. So if there is anything, let us also take the blame that we contributed, and that for me, reparation is no. With all due respect to Mr. President, this I disagree, that Africans do not qualify for any reparation because we're part and parcel of the slavery. I have visited America in President Jefferson's home, which has become the UN UNICEF home for slavery and all those things. I visited there. I know the pain associated with slavery, as I do describe as an unmitigated misery. I concede, but I believe that Africans were part and parcel of it. Before even transatlantic slave trade, we also have domestic slavery. What about that? I'll rest my case.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Sasanti. We shall now go to Dr. Beniasha. What has your attention this morning? Can you unmute if you can hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes,
please?
yes. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, Amafa and all your panel. Good morning to the listeners. Thanks for having me. I'll just quickly comment on the United Nations, the president's speech in the United Nations. I've heard a lot. I didn't listen to the speech. I listened to snippets of it. I must say that he was quite the orator there and spoke his mind. But let's not trick ourselves into being too overly excited about this. That forum is a free-for-all forum where every leader can say everything they want. Now, if you compare historically, there was a time that Gaddafi gave a Cuban president, Fidel Castro, the former one, gave, I think it was a 3-hour lecture in there. These things don't mean much. This is not policy. This is just a forum for people to rant, presidents to say what they want on their mind. It carries no policy impacts. There are no consequences of it. Nobody has to listen. Nobody has to do anything about it. So let's not trick ourselves that something very powerful has been achieved. Nothing has been achieved. This is just a speech. And as you notice, people walked out when the Prime Minister of Israel came and gave the speech. And Trump went on and on about various unrelated issues and criticisms of different countries and so on. This is not a place where you say things that are going to necessarily be translated into action on the ground. This is just an opinion piece where people and leaders can say what they want. So, in as much as the president was quite the orator and spoke well and let us know what he thought and his sentiments about various things. These are just words. They will not, nobody has to listen, and possibly nobody's going to listen. So let's not decorate it too much.
Okay.
So that's one thing that came to me. I quickly also touch on one issue that I noticed. I came across something. It's probably going to come up in the discussion that Sam George was making references to the fight against Galamsey and saying that in the last 9 months that the NDC came into power, they have done more than all of the 8 years that the NPP was in power. You see, it's these things, these kind of utterances that start to twist the whole agenda. Point is, the NPP was in power for 8 years, and by your own admission, they didn't do anything, or they didn't do what was necessary to fight Galamsey. You have taken on the reins of power. Just do it and stop talking. It's as simple as that. Now, to say that this is how it starts. There's comparisons. Oh yeah, we've only been in power for 1 year. We've only been in power for 9 months, and we haven't done this so and so. But we're better than you. That doesn't solve the problem. The problem is you've got an agenda. Just execute it and show results. That's all. Those are my thoughts for now.
Okay, let's start off from the Daily Guide newspaper, and I'll take you to page 11. Revamp Western Rail Lines, and it comes with a picture of the President of the Western Regional House of Chiefs, Nana Koblan Ketsia V. Now, he says, investing in the Buankra Inland Port in the Ashanti region is not a bad idea, but, quote, the government should first revamp the Western Rail Line. The Regional House of Chiefs President, who is also the Paramount Chief of a scattered traditional area, was addressing stakeholders at the Western Regional Development Retreat in Takrady. He said developing the Western Rail Line would not only boost the economy, but also create jobs and enhance food security in communities along the rail lines. Let me start with you, sir. Now, we all know that when it comes to Ghana's rail sector, if you develop the Buankra, you need to feed it. And that's the line that will move from Western to the Ashanti region. What should government do in trying to make sure that the Buankra Inland Port will not just be completed and then there won't be any lines to feed it?
Yeah, I think that is very much unfortunate. Looking at the extent to which we are causing destruction, to rail lines from Tema, to the hinterlands of Ghana, and also linking other parts of Ghana, like you rightly said, the Western region. I think that it is very unfortunate, and it sounds as if that the Ghana Railway, authority remains adamant, in response to some of the distractions. And if you move along the railway lines in Accra, right from Kantamanto, leading to the Isawam stretch, obviously you see that the land around the railway lines have been taken over by private developers. And so you ask yourself that what are we doing? What did we see differently to, as it were, move to Buankra to develop that place to probably serve as a transit, to link northern part of Ghana and other Sahel regions. For me, the project at Buankra shouldn't have started when, of course, we have not made any attempt, to, as it were, bring our railway lines into productivity. And you check and you see that, yes, this is another project that was not well thought of.
Oh, okay.
Another project that probably we were just interested in going to throw away money, without any headway. Because like you rightly said, without the railway lines, which is going to move, cargo, going to move, containers, heavy containers in there and to probably free our roads, major roads, of some of these tracks, all right, we have not done anything about it.
I don't know much of the geography, but does Mpakadan connect to...
Mpakadan connects straight to the north.
North, yes. So it doesn't have any connection to the...
No, that would
so
be
means that the only connection is the Western Rail Line.
Is the Western Greater Accra.
But we know that the Greater Accra line to Kumasi is non-existent now.
So that is where I'm coming from.
Okay.
That's where I'm coming from.
Okay.
See, so more or less, you have 2 ports, harbors in Ghana. One from Tema to, other parts of Ghana, and then from Takoradi to other parts of Ghana, right? And then in Western region, again, you would have cocoa moving.
Yes.
You would have timber moving. You have gold and other minerals equally moving. All right. So if you have the Buankra, inland ports, what it means is that Western region heavy logistics move from there to Buankra.
Yes.
Then from Buankra to Tema, or from Buankra to Western region, other parts of the country and all that. Now, the railway lines...
For example, the trucks that move from, say, Burkina Faso to, say, Western region to pick fly and whatever, could have just gone to Buankra if the rail lines were working.
Exactly. So that, there wouldn't be that so much pressure
on the
roads. All right. Okay. Now, the railway lines that is supposed to move these heavy, logistics are all gone, especially in Greater Accra. Okay, so how do you get, these containers moving? Then it means that we are still putting pressure on the roads. And so, for me, I feel that before any government has started, I don't know the regime that actually started the Buankra, but I felt that before we started it, we could have find a way of developing the railway lines first, especially from Tema to Buankra to Kumasi, and beyond. All right. So that the moment you now invest in it, you know that even if it is half 50% completed, you can start transporting. All right. Now you have the facility stacked, the railway lines, not getting destroyed. And so the question is, what did we do in the first place? For me, it sounds as if that we've thrown another money away.
Okay. Let me bring in Dr. Asante. Doc, now we know that the past government was constructing the Western Rail Line, and I know for a fact that they were, as of the time I knew much about that line, they had crossed the Eshim viaduct, and they were just past Eshim area. Could it have been that because government knew it would be able to complete it, that's why they started the Buankra? Or should we have completed the line entirely before starting to construct Buankra?
Kojo, thanks for the opportunity, but I will even take the conversation to another level.
Okay.
Railway is critical for the development of this country. If you read the Gordgesbeck plan, the 10-year development plan, he had in there, government upon government have made all manner of promises and attempts to do and make sure that we improve the railway sector. But this is what you have. If you look at even modern day railway lines in other parts of the world, ours doesn't come closer to what we are talking about. We have economy that we want to change its structure, and we still don't have a very sophisticated or modern railway system. Look at the coaches that we use here. Out of date. So what are we talking about? We put pressure on the roads, and the little railways lines that we have, we are not able to maintain them up to the scratch that it will serve the purpose for which we develop them. And so all the time, our government will promise us, we're going to fix, we're going to do this, and we don't see anything. It's very, very unfortunate. Go to advanced countries, you will see how railway services support the economy so well. I was in Switzerland and Geneva. And here we're talking about man hours that we lose to traffic when people are going to work and they are from work. But look at our roads that we have. The middle have that architecture that we can put tram in. Go to Geneva. There's a tram that runs throughout Geneva and go to other places very short. That can be like Trotro here. What are we talking about? The one that we use for long distances. We don't have them. So there's a pressure on the roads because you have to fall on what? Main transport system, vehicular movement instead of rail. There are a lot of heavy goods that we use the railway to what? Cut from wherever they are to our destination. But here you are. People talk about it because our society has become so docile that when political parties promise us and they don't deliver, we glorify them with another opportunity to serve. Come on. We need to sit down and up our game and make sure that whatever we promised or parties promise, we go into the manifesto and then we'll call them to account when the day of reckoning comes, and that we don't glorify them with another power. I mean, railway system, I always ask myself, do we have the railway corporation? Does it exist?
Yeah, it still
what is
exists.
The condition of service of the workers?
It still exists. The other time I heard them complain about non-payment of salaries. And as some time ago, they were trying to refurbish the Western Rail line to Takwa so that they could even cut more of the manganese. But that, I don't know where it is now.
What are we talking about? We always, say one thing and we do something different. And we sit down unconcerned without, and that is, our attitude has brought us this far. Price said that vigilance is the price of liberty. Are we vigilant enough to get what we have bargained for? No. We have slept over our right for a very long time. So that is what the politician can do to us. And then nothing happens. I believe that from now, we should And I would challenge this government that the ball is in their court. They want to build a 24-hour economy. You cannot do that without building a solid railway infrastructure that you allow people to move and work in 3 batches. I can work at UJ, and then after my teaching, I can jump onto the train and then go and work 3 hours somewhere and all that. So that the issue of unemployment will be a thing of the past. Yeah. But what are we doing here? We glorify politicians so much and we get very little. It's unfortunate.
Okay. Professor Douglas Boateng, who is watching us now, says government must commit part of the royalties from the minerals mining to fund railway development. He says railway is a long-term project and cannot be funded with short-term loans. And the media has a role to play. So we all need to do that. Let's bring in, our third guest, MFA.
Dr. Beniasha?
Exactly. Dr. Tasha, now, if you look at the system of railway, the timing was even brought to life a bit between, I think, 2018, 2019, thereabout in Takrady. You saw the life of these villages along the line come to life. There were a lot of food which were being cut to Takrady, for example. And if, like Prof is saying, we should commit a bit of the mining royalties into it, why do you think we have not been able to do it as a country all this while? That for a system like that, which could ease a lot of pressure on our roads and increase productivity, we have watched on for it to deteriorate to the level we are now.
Thank you very much. There are 2 reasons why our railway system is in the state in which it is, I think. The first one is that historically, the railway system has not been successive government's priority. Dr. Asante referenced the Gudgersberg 10-year plan. The railway development was key. Now, if you look at the British rule in colonial Ghana, you notice that the British government paid particular attention, the colonial government paid particular attention to the railway system.
Yeah.
Because it realized that this is the way to bring
our resources
from
to
the hinterland. Absolutely. And they committed themselves to it, and they developed what we have now. All right? So it's that system they had, or that mindset they had, led to most of the railways that we have currently. That tells you that if a government prioritizes railway development, it can do it the same way the colonial government did it. But it's just not our priority. Our priority is mostly roads, because I suspect it's slightly cheaper than railway.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. It's not been in the forefront. Successive governments will talk about it and highlight it, but they never really are able to commit themselves in the same way they do when it comes to roads. The second issue, clearly, is the issue of costs. Now, again, Dr. Asante referenced Geneva. I think it'd be comparing, elephants with termites if you do that comparison between Ghana and Switzerland. But it's a template that we can learn from, because it highlights the immense contribution that railway can bring to the economy of Ghana. So those two things, the costs and the fact that it's never been at the forefront of our development planning. It's always been on the backseat. I mean, if you think about it, even you and I, Ghana is not a place we associate with rail the same way you can associate rail with India, or with China these days. So that's the main thing. If we have the commitment to it and we make it our goal, as we do with roads and highway development and feeder road development, then we can make some inroads.
Do you agree?
Apart from that, then
do you agree that we should commit part of royalties from the mining, industry to sort of fund the railway construction?
Well, money has to come from somewhere. So if it's going to come from mining, or it's going to come from oil, or it's going to come from taxes, or it's going to come from all the sources of government. Government has two main sources, which normally is taxes and grants from elsewhere. So whichever way we can develop, we can.
Dr. Beniasha, I think the line went down, but he made a complete thought there.
Well, maybe you just landed.
Can you hear me now?
Exactly.
Yes, we can.
I think you landed on your point. That's why. Doc, maybe to wrap all the discussions up, I mean, we've all said how easy it would be if our railway was working, for us to work between, say, Takoradi and Accra, without necessarily living in Accra, because we could then decongest Accra, Where must government start from? The previous government ended somewhere. What must this government do?
So I think we have ESLA, right? The energy sector levy. If we can raise money through petroleum, the sale of petroleum products and all that, to go and pay a debt, can't we raise, a development levy to sort of develop a critical sector like the railway? All right. It's an issue of priority, I agree.
A levy that we will be paying?
Yes, obviously.
Ghanaians will pay. Won't it be easy for government to say that we're going to convert a bit of the royalties we get to fund it?
Yes, so that would be an option. But the question is, how much are you getting from the royalties?
Okay.
All right. And looking at the pressing need of railways, as a means of transport, and of course as one of the cheapest means of transport, and probably again one of the fastest with regards to what we are faced with, the huge traffic we are facing on our streets, the number of hours it will take you for you to move from here to Nsawam, and even to how do you call it, Suhum, and even to Winneba. All right. The point is that if you are able to develop it, what it means is that I can stay in Accra and still go to work at Winneba.
Yeah.
All right. And I will save a lot of costs, isn't it? And that is what will bring convenience to the ordinary Ghanaian worker. Rather than spend millions of dollars in road construction, when, every year we are spending such monies, we are still limited. Every year we spend money on road constructions, and we are still not seeing that kind of development that we need. So my point is that instead of probably investing so much, picking some nuisance taxes, which of course Ghanaians are not actually benefiting from. Why can't we convert these taxes into, the railway sector, channel it through there, develop it, and then we move on as a country? You see, Dr. Ansasari and Dr. Is it Ashi?
Asante.
Dr. Asante and then Dr. Asha made brilliant points, with regards to what is happening in developed countries and all that. Now, my point is that it didn't take a day to build Rome. And what we even had, we have destroyed it. All right?
Yeah.
Now, going forward, what must we do? We need to take harsh measures. Number one, if you want to develop the railway, sector. Number two, are we thinking of the Gordonsburg kind of railway lines that they built for us? The world has moved on. We are talking about fast trains.
Yeah.
All right? Is that what we want? Or we will still go for a used, rejected, train and then bring it to Ghana? You understand? We need to invest and invest heavily. If you are going to think about cost, that railway line is expensive, then we might as well forget about it because we can't get there. But at least we should start from somewhere.
Okay.
All right? And then subsequent governments will find the need to build upon it. Else, look, we will still be constructing roads and we will still find ourselves wanting.
Okay.
At the end of the day, productivity is about how fast goods and services are able to move.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's wrap up this with a test from Professor Boateng again. He says, railways will open up the economy and minimize rural and urban migration.
Exactly.
He says a lot of money comes from royalties. Yeah, and he said that with an exclamation mark. So he tells you how much comes in. A lot of money comes. He says, I know this for a fact. I was the chair of MIF. We just have to commit a percentage to develop the railways. We can do it.
Sure.
It means that's an area we have to look at. Well, however, I just hope that the railways will be developed so that we can take a lot of these cars away and spend less on our roads. Because the fatalities on the roads will be minimized.
It's too much.
When we have railways working. A lot of cars will go off the road, so it will then reduce the hours we spend in getting to work. And then a lot of things can be achieved if railways is working. But you know that JoyNews is going to Takrady, I think next week Tuesday, to have a dialogue on this same railway issue, and I would want to just bring a bit of it to our viewers. Okay, so the JoyNews will be having a climate talks, is a sustainable mobility for Ghana, unlocking the potential of railway transport. It will be happening on the 7th of October, 2025 at 2 p.m. at the Efia Kwesiminti Municipal Assembly. So if you get into Takrady, just ask for Efia Kwesiminti Municipal Assembly, which is around number 9. And then you can be part of this wonderful discussion, which would look at unlocking the potential of railway transport. This is JoyNews German. Let me get it well. Okay. Let's see. It's the JoyNews is doing this in collaboration with the Embassy of the Federal Republic of Germany, and it's on climate talks, sustainable mobility for Ghana. I hope that a lot of us could be part of this discussion, and then we can talk about what we can do. Because if you go to Takrady, for example, at the railway station in Iskado, the NPP government sort of said they were refurbished, and they did that. But why are we parking the trains there without the trains being on the lines? Because the lines are not working.
The point is that even if the train itself works,
the lines are not working.
Yeah. No, if the train itself is movable.
Well, we watch on and turn all this into scraps.
Yes. So that is where now even get people taking off the railway lines.
Oh, yes.
Cut it.
Yes.
Yeah. If I could just comment about that.
Okay.
You see, we need to be careful about how we deal with these things. Ghana is not a rich country, all right? So we shouldn't even be talking about high-speed trains and comparing ourselves to the Chinese and all of these things. We just need to cut our coats according to our size. If we were even able to just maintain the colonial railway system, that one that was left to us by the British, we could make so much inroads. We don't even need, forget about a new system. The old system itself that existed doesn't work. Not to talk about, high-speed trains and what's happening in the developed world. Even the old one that the British government, the colonial government installed, is out of use. So perhaps we should even, if we, because those ones connected the key areas in the economy, and did well. If we could go back to that and renovate that, that would be a starting point. Not to talk about all of these new innovations that we want to bring.
No, but I think I disagree, because how many of these, old trains, how many companies are producing it now?
The old lines, you mean?
I mean the train itself, the engines itself.
Yeah.
How many companies are producing it now? All right.
Now we've moved to the standard gauge.
Yes. So the point is that if you are still, glued to these technologies, you end up spending more, even on maintenance.
But his point is about the lines. We did a story last year which said that even the Nsawam line had been taken over by developers. They were building on it, and then if you get to a certain point, the line ends.
I actually articulated
So,
it this
and that's
morning.
part of the old system.
I articulated it this morning, the lines. Now, beyond that, the engines
to be on the line.
Yeah, to be on the lines is again the technology I was referring to.
Right.
All right. So, if we are going to do this, it should be a holistic, plan, and not to say that we are developing the lines and will not care about the kind of engines that will be moving on the lines. You understand?
Yeah.
Because as old as these technologies are, that would it ensure efficiency? So you have fine lines, the engines does not produce efficiency. What would you do? And we are talking about railway transport as an efficient means. And that is what we are talking about. So it's a combination of the two. You can't satisfy one and leave the other. So it should be an integrated kind of plan.
I think if I listen to Professor Boateng, it's about commitment, because the resources, the revenue to do it is there.
That one I agree.
I've lived in Takoradi for a long time, and I know what the railway can do to the economy.
Exactly.
We committed a lot of resources to rail from 2017 to, in the past government. Mahamat did it because he revamped the Kojo Krom secondary Takoradi line. So now trains could move from Kojo Krom to the Takoradi Harbour. We should just continue from there. And the past government started to pump in that money. But commitment of government to continue is the issue. And again, the attitude of Ghanaians, because even the new lines, I had complaint of some people stealing the lines they've constructed.
Yes, it's because laws don't work.
We like that.
Yes.
So could you
that would spend resources to build a line. Ghana spent a lot of, because look, constructing a kilometer of rail line is expensive.
Right.
We do it, and someone will go and steal it overnight.
So you see, that's why we talk about the technology. Now, can you go to UK and probably go and have, is it a hacksaw or something to cut the line? Can you do it? You'll be electrocuted.
Okay, so I get you now.
Yes.
So you're talking about that, if you go to South Africa, that is there.
Yes.
We should use the electric powered train.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you see, when technology has merged,
are we able to afford it? That's my question.
The point is this: if we are not catching up with technology, right, and we want to live in the past, and technology has gone far ahead of us, how do we develop?
Okay.
Okay.
If you are crying because we don't have money and Ghana is a poor country, how then do we grow to become rich?
Okay.
When that very variance that will lead us into prosperity, we are complaining about it.
Yeah.
So how then do we grow? And we are identifying railway lines as one of the things that will make us grow and grow very fast.
Yeah.
So why don't we find time, focus, invest get it done to some point. We are not saying that we will start today and end tomorrow. You know, it will be a continuous project. So you start from somewhere. President Mahama started something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now the immediate past also came and did the Taman Pakaban.
Yeah. And they also did the Kojo Chrome itself towards the what do you call the Western Line. They were constructing to Takwa, and then they will continue to.
So where they have ended, this current government could also continue. So as and when each government makes it a priority to tackle one end of the railway development, at the end of the day, we give ourselves like 50 years and probably we will see the whole country connected. So that posterity will come and inherit. Yeah. And that kind of development that we are looking for will come.
If you get Doc's point.
What I do.
Start, do to a point. Another person will come continue and there will be, wouldn't be another point.
Commitment. I think that's what everybody's saying.
Anyway.
Well, I have all of you who are lecturers. And so I see that today, you are quite passionate about illegal mining. While UTAG maintains a very strong stance against illegal mining, I'm quite lucky. It's quite a buffet of lectures this morning.
Yeah, exactly. So did you tell us?
Yes. yes. Dr. Asah-Asante, if I still have you, yesterday at the Congress, UTAG, while they maintain a strong stand against illegal mining, sort of gave us quite an anticlimax that, well, this is not to suggest that I'm happy about strike. Very subtly, students like it when we don't. And I hope nobody's hearing me. But I guess they were hoping that UTAG was at least going to go a lot harder, but they failed to declare a strike, though they had issued an ultimatum to government. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, before I go in there, let me also conclude on the railway conversation. My friend Dr. Asha shared that I was comparing Ghana to Switzerland and all that. Yeah, I respect his view, but I have a contrary view. My view is that we are not far away from modern things. And I support the call by the former chairman of MITH, the professor. You know, it's a matter of priority. The resources are there. What is wrong by committing resources to build a modern technology that will stand the test of time? You don't need to be rich. It's priority, organization, and how you commit the resources into doing what you want to do. So I differ in terms of my view that Ghana is not out of reach of having a modern railway system. We can begin, since government is a continuum. You know, one government will continue from where the previous one has left off, and then we continue. And I support the call by Dr. Boyhin that at the end of the day, when we go on that trajectory, we'll get all the countries who are connected and the frontiers of the economy will be expanded. That said, I'll move on to your question about Galamsey. Right. Yeah, UTAG, before taking a decision, they have to do a lot of consultation with their constituents and all that. So sometimes coming out with a decision immediately to address a problem, it takes a while. So I respect that. But I am disappointed in UTAG. You recall the last time that UTAG needed to strike to send a message to government that, look, we are in difficulty. It turned out to be a different thing. I'm not comfortable because the issue of Galamsey is an existential threat that is threatening the life of everybody. Look at vegetables. Now we are having traces of heavy metals in. How do we guarantee our safety in this country? In political science, there is something we call state capacity. The ability of the states to use laws to regulate the conduct of people and then make sure that you create that enabling environment for people to live in. We have lost it. And there are 4 aspects of state capacity: regulatory, administrative, technical, and then extractive. Once you lose all of them, I'm afraid you are in the realm of what? Failed state. Is that what we are looking at? The ability to raise revenue and make sure that you use them for the purpose for which you use. The ability to use both human and material resources to make life better. And also come out with a policy that would drive home all these dreams and aspirations. If you lose any of all of this, I'm afraid we are in a failed state. Is that where we want to go? No. So it tells us that government should tackle this problem head on. Lip service will not help anybody. Now, I am not oblivious of the fact that government has also, within a short time, has put in 1 or 2 measures that we are seeing results. but they need to scale up their game for us to see more, because day in, day out, the problem continue to be what? Compounding from time to time. It tells you that we need urgent measures. We need measures that will stand the test of time, and government should not delay at all. If you listen to the statement by the president, it tells you that they themselves as a party did not prepare adequately enough to come out with their policies about what they would do if they were giving the mandate to run the affairs of the country again, relative to what, the fight against illegal small-scale mining. Because what they are saying now and what they said before the election are poles apart. All that we need is that we need government to commit. We need government to, work very fast to ensure that all the dots are put there, and then we strengthen this fight. Because you see, now agriculture is being threatened. Remember, the European Union has, sounded that warning to us that we are getting heavy metals in cocoa, and they are not likely to purchase that. Remember, they are one of our trading partners, great partners. When we lose them, we are gone. The country's mainstay is on the cocoa farming. And look at what we are seeing. We are seeing people now cutting down cocoa tree in search for gold and all that. Water bodies are threatened. Your news item today, that we are losing a lot of our water bodies. And that is a function of what we're experiencing at Kwenyako. The water is shut down. Now people at Winneba, they don't have access to potable water and the rest of them. If you look at the health consequences, we are getting the whole country into a certain arena that a time will come, we have to spend so much in curing diseases that we have created for ourselves. What kind of society are we living in?
Okay.
Don't get it. Leaders must be able to fix problems. That's why we put them there. And if they are not ready for that, then I'm afraid, they are doing us a disservice. This government must be serious and move away from the talk shop into a workshop. That's what we need.
Right, maybe.
Okay.
Dr. Ashat, so was it quite an anticlimax for you? Did you expect that UTAG would at least go ahead with the strike? And will this put some pressure on government so you could get some results in this fight against illegal mining?
Thank you very much. When you say pressure, pressure can be defined in various ways. It's not only necessarily strike action. The fact that the Galamsey issue is on the agenda of the UTAG in the first place suggests to you that that's pressure that's being put on the government. The thing about UCAS is that it represents various constituencies and opinions, and before these actions are taken, they must be considered. There must be a consensus. So the fact that there is no, the connotation of your question suggests that you were looking for some more, something more dramatic, I suppose, so that you can possibly stay home.
Not so, but because that is the indication we got ahead of election 2024, and that's why she was asking.
Of course, plus I'm a student at heart and at core, isn't it?
So if they
was it not an anticlimax for you? Was it not an anticlimax? Because we saw the pressure that UTAG put on the government before the elections, and the fact that they walked us, we walked with them through the process, saying that it's going to be they've issued an ultimatum. They're a few days to that. I also suppose that because of the CSO stakeholders engagement that the president has called for on Friday, I don't know whether that influenced or that informed the decision to just declare their stand and not declare the strike. But is this for you? Is this an anticlimax? I hear you say that. Well, that's still some pressure. But is this the kind of pressure you anticipated, devoid of the drama, though?
Well, there's more to come. So you can bet your last CD on that there's more to come. This is not the end of UTAG with regards to this particular issue. It's a process. Now, you notice that a lot of the pressure on the previous government was mounted getting to the end of the term, because then it became clear that we're getting to the end and nothing hasn't been done. Now, this government is 9 months old. There's starting to be movements. You know, people have started to say, look, walk the walk, to borrow from Dr. Asante, you know, don't do just a talk shop, do a workshop. So, as a, you know, you see, UTAG, you have to be careful so that you don't come across as always looking for a fight. Okay, you need to be able to say, okay, I've given you room to operate, and you know, prove yourself. So there's a lot in the pipeline. Don't get it twisted. If you're looking for your days off, MFA, they're coming.
Anyway, Doc, well, when you came into the studio, you were quite passionate about illegal mining. And I like talking to you lectures because, I mean, you're from the UTAG, and I appreciate the amount of pressure that you gave the government last year. Interestingly, Kojo, it was just about this time last year, if you recall, during September ending into October, thereabouts, the pressure started coming in. Yes, did you think that UTAG was going to back down? Though we appreciate the stand. UTAG says that they take a strong stand against illegal mining. The government should do something. Is this enough?
Yes, if I see, I've listened to Professor Dr. Ansar Sari and Dr. Ashia. I think that, you see, UTAG's position on Galamsey has not changed. The three of us are lecturers, right?
Yeah.
We are part of the entire UTAG decision-making body, the three of us. I am a NEC member. I am a member of the National Executive, Council.
You see the way Kojo is about to just devour.
Yeah. Because if it's NEC, then it means that
I am NEC member.
Okay.
And so we just returned. In fact, we ended our conference and meeting today. And the truth is this, that yes, we have signaled government on Galamsey. In fact, we gave government up to yesterday, that is 30th. All right. Now, we are yet to receive a response from government on the letter that we sent, to the minister and the president. Yesterday, as it is, I know the media and the entire UTAG fraternity, was waiting to hear that UTAG was going to go on strike. Now, you see, I'm happy with the way Dr. Ansar Sari started, that NEC doesn't make the decision. It's the entire UTAG body that makes a decision to go on strike. And so, in our meeting, yes, we will deliberate and look at the pros and cons, and then see as to whether we need to follow our actions with, a strike. As I talk to you now, we are yet to, confirm that UTAG is going on strike. We want to give the government the benefit of the doubt to respond to what the letter we sent.
But what has changed within 9 months? Because under a year ago,
yes,
the warning, the signals were clear.
Yes, Kojo, so if you are
where would finish? Okay, all right, finish and let's see.
Like I said, our position has not changed.
Yes.
I am in Winneba. I know the Konyaku issue. I am in Winneba and I know the Winneba issue. As at yesterday, I got a picture on the quality of water running from our tap at South Campus. It is as brownish as anything, if not gold. You understand? Very colored. And so I will be, how do you call it? I don't know the word to use to describe myself. If I am going to do politics with it.
Dishonest, maybe.
Yes. All right. Now, my point is that, you see, UTAG has not changed. In fact, we are coming up with an educative program. The media will hear of us. Okay? We will sit down. We will let the government know, because if I write to you and you are not responding, I will let the entire Ghana know what is happening. So we've set a committee. In fact, the committee wasn't set yesterday. It was set last month. All right. and they are coming up with facts and figures, with documentary, all right? And we will push it into the media, and we will push our members to have that discussion. Afterwards, we will follow up with a series of activities, signaling the government to enforce, one, the repeal of the LI 2462.
That they say they will do.
Yes.
But of course, no.
I'm coming.
No, we don't have a lot of time. But UTAG, I say, and a year ago, you said, do it or we strike.
Yes.
That's what was your position. Now, 9 months into this year, we are in the 10th month. Yeah. What has changed that now UTAG say they are going to bring fact and figures after all JoyNews has done? You've seen it. You've seen the fact and figures put out by JoyNews. You've seen it. Yet UTAG says, now we're going to put out the fact and figures. We are shifting from our declare the state of emergency or we strike. So what has really changed? That has caused UTAG to change from their initial position.
So the point is that, you see, even last year when we went on strike, for that long stretch, at a point in time, we're even struggling to come out of the strike. That's a fact.
Okay.
That's a fact.
You were enjoying being home.
No, not that we enjoyed being home. But we realized that the response that we needed, we couldn't get it.
Okay.
So the strike became an albatross
around our necks. Yes. And that is a fact. And nobody can deny that.
Okay.
All right. Now, it was because some people actually didn't understand, why we have used strike as a tool. And the political aspect of it also didn't favor us. All right. Now, as one of the top, people in Ghana.
Pressure groups.
No, we are not.
Okay, you are an association.
Yeah, we are.
But sometimes you use pressure as a way of.
But we are not entirely
a pressure group. I get it.
Exactly. So we thought that no, let's backtrack, redesign our approach, and then see. But you see, when all is said and done, I mean, the processes I was trying to walk you through, the essence of it is to let Ghanaians understand why UTAG will go on strike. All right, if it becomes necessary that we have to use. But when we have done this and we are still not getting that response, then of course, if we know that we are going on strike for 6 months, 1 year, we know that we are going. So I want us to be on record that UTAG has not backtracked. Our position still remains the same. If there need be that we have to move on strike, we will push that agenda to our members for a decision. And once it comes out that our members have voted in favor of it, you go.
Okay.
But the point still remains that, you see, this decision can come by 2 weeks' time.
Or 12 o'clock today. Or
no, the process will not allow us to go 12 o'clock today.
Okay.
Yes. So it can come in 2 weeks' time.
Okay.
It can come in 3 weeks' time. Maximum in a month's time.
Okay.
All right then. We're grateful. We'll be looking forward to that time. Yes. But we know that you'll also you'll be part of this meeting at the Jubilee House on Friday, right?
Yes.
So maybe let's see how that was.
So even that, there's a controversy on the how they address UTAG.
Hey.
Oh yes.
What's the controversy?
It is even flying on our platform right now.
Because you're not a CSO, are you?
We are not a CSO.
No, what's the controversy?
The controversy is that now the politicians see University Teachers Association. That's what they addressed. Okay. So CTAG is part. They're also university, isn't it?
Yeah.
TUTAG is part. They're also universities, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So they should address us properly.
But why? So you won't be there if they don't address you properly?
No, but if you generalize it, who is coming?
Oh, I get it. Whether it's TUTAG, it's CTAG, or it's UTAG.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it doesn't change, will you be there?
I don't see why we have to be there.
Hey.
Oh,
and
but
it's still the same fight
if it is about how do you call it, media stations. Okay, I write a letter and say to all media stations, how does it make it that I've invited Joy.
Okay. All right. We're grateful to you, Dr. Tutu Boahen. Is political marketing. He lectures political marketing at the University of Education, whenever. We also had Dr. Kwame Asante of the University of Ghana and Dr. Benny Asha of UPSA. But let me just do this before we go. A friend of mine, very good friend, Ebenezer Ravi Kwesen, who is in Osiejo, is celebrating the birthday today. And Eben, as I always say to my very good friends, you are a good man, you are a good person. So, nyamana meza yila onya na wo na ema odebela mo easy wan zo na ire no. Misika nyini be broke ma pakaye. Nyamana meza e donzuru ba be gon pai bozo. Na yiro na ye okezire. Ilu ake ni baba ye nyamana insanu nyirala nti nyamana yiro Eben. Dikabla ma obala na ma debla no hobo mo. Na sam to cook mo there. Just after that, we have this one here. Let's do it quickly before we
that
dash
must be
off.
A happy birthday to Rosemond Gidiglo, all right,
okay.
of Financial Intelligence Center, and Rosemary Gidiglo of the Ministry of Fisheries, and your twins. A happy birthday to you both. Yeah, I know. So Rosemond and Rosemary, happy birthday to you. The AM show is sponsored by Kenego Company Limited and Syntex Tank. Before we talk about Syntex Tank, did you say thank you to Dr. Asante and Dr. Asha? Right. Yes. Ghana, let's talk water tanks. Do you know the secret to real water storage? It's simple. If your tank doesn't have the tortoise on it, then it's not the correct tank. It is right. That's right. The tortoise tank, Syntex tank, is a champion of water tanks. It is strong, durable, and built to handle our Ghanaian weather. Rain or shine, Syntex tank has your back. So my people, go outside, check your tank, and if it doesn't have the tortoise on it, it's time to upgrade. Go on and join the Syntex tank family today and enjoy water storage that's tough like a tortoise. Call them 0244-335-168 to buy now, or you can as well find one of their 400 agents nationwide. You can also shop online if you're quite sophisticated. SyntexGH.com. Syntex tank, a year strong, a year tough. All right, there's more on the show if you stay with us. This is the AM show. Please stay.